Peter was left in a whirlwind of emotions after Angela walked away that evening. He couldn't stop replaying her words in his mind.
I don't want to come in between a relationship you have built for a long.
It stung more than he expected, and the thought of losing Angela felt unbearable. That night Peter couldn't sleep. He stared at the ceiling, thinking about the mess he had created. He knew he couldn't keep living like this, torn between his obligation to Lucy and his feelings for Angela. He needed to take responsibility, even if it meant making difficult choices. The next morning Peter called Lucy and asked to meet. They sat at a quiet cafe, the air between them heavy with unspoken tension.
Lucy,
Peter began, hesitating.
we need to talk.
Lucy raised an eyebrow, sipping her coffee.
What's wrong? You look like you haven't slept.
I haven't.
Peter admitted. He took a deep breath.
Lucy, I need to be honest with you. This engagement, it's not working for me.
Lucy set her cup down, her expression unreadable.
Peter, we've barely tried. Our families expect us to make this work. Are you saying you're giving up already?
Peter shook his head.
It's not about giving up. It's about being fair, to you and to myself. I don't feel the connection we're supposed to have, and I think you know that too.
Lucy's face softened and she sighed.
I can't say I didn't see this coming. You've always been distant, Peter. I thought maybe we'd grow into it, but you're right. This isn't what I imagined for myself either.
They sat in silence for a moment, both processing the weight of their decision. Finally, Lucy reached across the table and took Peter's hand.
Let's end this before we hurt each other anymore. No hard feelings.
Peter nodded, grateful for her understanding. As they parted ways, he felt a strange mix of relief and sadness. He had closed one chapter of his life, but now he had to figure out how to open another, with Angela. Meanwhile, Angela was struggling to move on. She threw herself into work, determined to focus on her goals and let go of her feelings for Peter. But no matter how hard she tried, she couldn't stop thinking about him. His smile, his laugh, the way he made her feel seen and understood. Her friendship with Aqua became her safe haven. He was kind and funny, and he seemed genuinely interested in her. One afternoon, as they chatted in the office, Aqua leaned in a little closer than usual.
Angela,
He said softly.
I really enjoy spending time with you. You're special.
Angela's heart skipped a beat. She wasn't sure if it was from the compliment or the fear of where the conversation was heading. She forced a smile.
Thank you, Aqua. That means a lot.
But before he could say more, Peter appeared in the doorway, his eyes narrowing as he took in the scene.
Angela,
Peter said, his voice tense.
can I speak with you? Alone.
Aqua glanced between them, his expression uncertain.
Is everything okay?
It's fine.
Angela replied quickly, standing up. She followed Peter to an empty conference room, her arms crossed.
What do you want, Peter?
Peter closed the door behind them, his expression earnest.
I ended things with Lucy.
He said without preamble. Angela's eyes widened and she took a step back.
What?
I told her the truth,
Peter continued.
that I couldn't be with her because I'm in love with someone else.
Angela's heart raced, but she refused to let herself hope.
And you think that changes anything?
She asked, her voice sharp.
You still lied to me, Peter. You let me fall for you without telling me about her.
I know, and I'll regret that forever. But I couldn't keep living a lie. Lucy and I ended things, and now I'm here, telling you the truth. Angela, I love you. I always have.
Peter said, his voice breaking. Angela shook her head, tears streaming down her face.
Peter, it's not that simple. You can't just say the words and expect everything to be okay.
I know it's not simple.
Peter said, stepping closer.
but I'm willing to fight for us. I'll do whatever it takes to earn your trust again. Just, please don't shut me out.
Angela's resolve wavered as she looked into his eyes. She wanted to believe him, but the pain of the past weeks was still fresh.
Peter,
She whispered, her voice trembling.
I need time. I need to figure out if I can trust you again. Because I can't go through this kind of hurt twice.
Peter nodded. His expression filled with determination.
Take all the time you need. I'll wait for you, Angie. I'm not going anywhere.
As Angela walked out of the room, her heart was heavy with conflicting emotions. She prayed for clarity, unsure of what the future would hold. All she knew was that Peter's words had stirred something deep within her, and she wasn't sure if she could ignore it. The drama is heating up, with Peter determined to win Angela back, and Angela torn between her heart and her fears. Angela had been avoiding Peter for weeks. Despite his heartfelt confession, she wasn't ready to let her guard down. Every time she thought about him, her heart would flutter, but her mind would remind her of the pain he had caused. She had to protect herself, didn't she? One rainy evening, as Angela packed her things to leave the office, she heard a knock at the door. It was Peter. He was drenched, his shirt clinging to him from the rain.
Peter!
Angela said, startled.
What are you doing here? You're soaking wet.
He stepped into the office, his expression a mix of desperation and determination.
I couldn't wait any longer, Angie. I had to see you.
Angela sighed, already bracing herself.
Peter, we've been through this. I need time.
And I've given you time.
He said, his voice trembling.
But I need to say this one last time, and then I'll leave you alone if that's what you want.
Angela hesitated but nodded, crossing her arms.
Go ahead.
Peter took a deep breath, his eyes locking with hers.
I've made mistakes, Angie. I know I hurt you, and I'll never forgive myself for that. But I also know that I can't imagine my life without you. You've made me a better person, even in the short time we've known each other. You're kind, strong, and so full of light that it terrifies me to think I could lose you forever.
Angela's throat tightened, but she didn't say anything.
I ended things with Lucy because it wasn't fair to her or to me. I realized that I can't live my life based on what other people want. I want to live it with you, Angela. Only you.
Tears welled in Angela's eyes, but she still held back.
Peter, words are easy. Actions are harder. How do I know this isn't just a spur-of-the-moment decision? How do I know you won't hurt me again?
Peter stepped closer, his voice steady.
Because I'll prove it to you. Every single day, if that's what it takes. I'm not asking you to trust me right now, but I'm asking you to give me a chance to earn it.
Angela felt her walls beginning to crack. The sincerity in his voice, the raw emotion in his eyes. It was impossible to ignore. But before she could respond, Aqua entered the room, carrying an umbrella.
Angela, I thought I'd walk you to your car.
Aqua said, stopping when he saw Peter. His eyes narrowed.
Is everything okay here?
Peter stiffened, but Angela quickly intervened.
It's fine, Aqua. Peter and I were just talking.
Aqua glanced between them, his jaw tightening.
Are you sure? Because it doesn't look fine to me.
Peter turned to Angela, his voice calm but firm.
Angie, I know you have people who care about you, and I don't want to get in the way of that. But I had to tell you how I feel. Whatever decision you make, I'll respect it.
Angela was caught in the middle, her heart pounding as both men looked at her expectantly. She felt the weight of the moment pressing down on her. Taking a deep breath, she looked at Aqua.
Thank you, Aqua, but I need to handle this on my own.
Aqua hesitated, then nodded.
All right. If you need me, you know where to find me.
As he left, Angela turned back to Peter, who stood there, waiting.
Peter.
she said softly, her voice trembling.
You've hurt me deeply, and I'm still scared. But I can't deny how I feel about you.
Peter's eyes lit up with hope.
Does that mean?
It means I'm willing to give you a chance.
Angela said, tears streaming down her face.
But you need to prove to me that this isn't just a fleeting thing. I won't survive another heartbreak.
Peter closed the distance between them, gently taking her hands in his.
You won't regret this, Angie. I'll spend the rest of my life making it up to you.
As they stood there, the rain continued to pour outside. But for the first time in weeks, Angela felt a sense of peace. She wasn't sure what the future held, but she knew she was ready to take the leap. Together with Peter. Their story wasn't perfect, but it was theirs. And as they left the office that night, walking hand in hand under the rain, it felt like the beginning of something beautiful.
Is this love or just another game? Tell me you'll stay, this will prove you've changed.